You use JavaScript every single day. Every scroll, every click, every website you visit. And in less than an hour, you can start writing it yourself using nothing but your browser. Let's go. In today's video, you're getting a complete beginner crash course on JavaScript. By the end, you'll understand how it works and you'll write real code. No experience needed. Let's start from zero. JavaScript is a programming language that runs in your browser. Think of a website like a house. HTML is the walls. CSS is the paint. JavaScript is the electricity. It makes everything work. Buttons, menus, animations, that's all JavaScript. And thanks to Node.js, it now runs on servers too. So with one language, you can build websites, apps, and even work with AI. It's the #1 most used programming language in the world, and companies like Google, Netflix, and Meta all use it. If you want to get into tech, start here. Before we write any code, let's set up your workspace. You're going to need two things: a code editor and a web browser. That's it. For the code editor, go to code.visualstudio.com and download Visual Studio Code. It's completely free. Once installed, open it. Click File, New File, and save it as index.html. Inside this file, we write a basic HTML structure. HTML tags, head tags, body tags. And right before the closing body tag, we add a script tag. Everything we write inside that script tag is where our JavaScript will run. To see it in action, just right-click the file and open it in your browser. Or if you have the live server extension in VS Code, hit Go Live at the bottom. Now press F12 in your browser and click the Console tab. That's where all our console.log messages will show up. This is going to be your best friend throughout this tutorial. So to recap, Visual Studio Code is where you write your code, and the browser console is where you see it run. Two tools, both free and you're ready to go. Now let's write our very first line of code. We're going to use something called console.log. Think of it as a way to tell JavaScript, hey, print this message on the screen for me. So we type console.log, open round brackets, then inside the brackets we write our message in double quotes. Hello world, close the round brackets, and end with a semicolon. And when we hit run, there it is. Hello world. You just wrote your very first line of JavaScript. That's how simple it is to get started. Now let's get into the actual concepts one at a time. A variable is a container that holds information. You create one using let or const. Let's create our first variable. We type the keyword let, then a space. Then we give it a name. In this case, we'll call it name. Then we type equals, and then in double quotes we write Alex, and finish with a semicolon. Now let's print it out to see if it worked. We type console.log, open round brackets, name, no quotes this time because we're referring to the variable, close round brackets, semicolon, and the output is Alex. Perfect. Now here's the cool thing about let. We can change the value later. Watch this. We just type name equals, then in double quotes, Jordan, semicolon. No need to write let again. The variable already exists, we're just updating it. And then console.log, round brackets, name, semicolon. See? It updated to Jordan. Now let's try const. Const is short for constant, meaning the value cannot change once you set it. We type const, then a space, country, equals, double quotes, United States, semicolon. Then console.log, round brackets, country, semicolon. And it prints United States. So the rule is simple. Use let when the value might change later. Use const when it should always stay the same. Now let's talk about data types. JavaScript works with different types of data. Let me show you each one. First up, strings. A string is just text. You write it inside quotes. So we type let, first name, equals, double quotes, Alex, semicolon. Then console.log, round brackets, first name, semicolon. That prints Alex. Next, numbers. Numbers don't need quotes. You just type the number directly. So let age equals 25, semicolon. Console.log, round brackets, age, semicolon. That prints 25. Then we have Booleans. A Boolean is either true or false. Think of it like a light switch, on or off. We type let is student equals true. No quotes around true, it's a special keyword, semicolon. Console.log, round brackets, is student semicolon. That prints true. And finally, arrays. An array is a list of things. We wrap them in square brackets and separate each item with a comma. So we type let, colors equals, open square bracket, then in double quotes red, comma, blue, comma, green, close square bracket, semicolon. Console.log, round, brackets, colors, semicolon. That prints the whole list. You can also grab a single item from the list by its position. But here's the thing. JavaScript starts counting from 0, not 1. So the first item is position 0. We type console.log, round brackets, colors, then open square bracket, 0, close square bracket, semicolon. Then the same thing with 1, and with 2. And we get red, blue, green. These 4 data types, strings, numbers, booleans, and arrays, are the building blocks of almost every program you'll ever write. Next up, functions. A function is a block of code that does a specific job, and you can run it whenever you want. Let's create our first function. We type the keyword function, then a space, then the name of our function. We'll call it greet. Then open and close round brackets, then open curly bracket. Now inside, on a new line, we write console.log, round brackets, double quotes, hello, welcome, close round brackets, semicolon. Then on the next line, we close everything with a closing curly bracket. Right now, nothing happens. We've built the function, but we haven't told it to run yet. To run it, we call it by typing its name followed by round brackets and a semicolon. So just greet round brackets, semicolon. And there it is. Hello, welcome. And we can call it as many times as we want. Every time we type greet round brackets, semicolon, it runs again. Now let's make it smarter. We can pass information into a function using something called a parameter. Watch, this time when we write function, we type greet user, and inside the round brackets we put the word name. That's our parameter. Then open curly bracket, new line, console.log, round brackets, then we write hello, in quotes, plus sign, name, plus sign. In quotes, close, round brackets, semicolon, then close, curly bracket. Now when we call it, we pass in an actual name inside the round brackets. So greet user, round, brackets, double quotes, Alex, semicolon, and again with a different name. Greet user, round brackets, Sam, semicolon. And we get, hello, Alex, and hello, Sam. See how powerful that is? We wrote the function once, and now we can use it with any name we want. Write it once, use it everywhere. Now here's where your code starts getting intelligent. A conditional lets your code make decisions. Here's how it works. We create a variable called age and set it to 20. So let age equals 20, semicolon. Now we use the keyword if, then open round brackets, and inside we write our condition. Age greater than or equal to sign, which is the angle bracket followed by the equal sign, 18, close round brackets, then open curly bracket. On the next line, console.log, round brackets, you can vote, semicolon, close curly bracket. Then on the same line we write else, open curly bracket. New line, console.log, round brackets, too young to vote, semicolon, close curly, bracket. Since age is 20, the condition is true, so it prints, you can vote. Now let's do a slightly more advanced example with multiple conditions. Let score equals 75, semicolon. Then if round brackets score greater than or equals 90, close round brackets, curly bracket, console.log, grade A, close curly. Then else if That's two words, round brackets, score greater than or equals 70, close round brackets, curly bracket, console.log, grade C, close curly. Then else, curly bracket, console.log, grade F, close curly. It checks from top to bottom. Is score 90 or above? No. Is it 70 or above? Yes, so it prints grade C. This is exactly how apps check if a user is logged in, if a password is correct, or if a payment went through. And finally, loops. A loop repeats an action multiple times automatically. This is called a for loop. I know it looks a little intimidating at first, but let me break it down. We type the keyword for, then open, round brackets. Inside, we write three things separated by semicolons. First, let I equals 0. That's our counter starting at 0. Semicolon. Second, I less than sign 5. That means keep going as long as I is less than 5. Semicolon. Third, I plus plus. That means after each round increase I by 1. Close round brackets, open curly bracket, new line, console.log, round brackets I, semicolon. Close curly bracket, and we get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 lines of output from just 3 lines of code. Now let's use a loop with an array. Let fruits equals square brackets, apple, comma, banana, comma, orange, semicolon. Now for our loop, for round brackets, let I equals 0, semicolon, I less than fruits dot length. That gives us the number of items in the array. Semicolon, I plus plus, close round brackets, curly bracket. Console.log, round brackets, fruits, square brackets, I, close round brackets, semicolon, close curly bracket, and it prints apple, banana, orange. Instead of printing each fruit manually one by one, the loop goes through the entire list for us automatically. Loops save you an enormous amount of time. Now let's put everything together with a real mini project. We're going to build a tip calculator, the kind of thing you'd actually use at a restaurant. First, let's set up our bill amount and the tip percentage. Const bill equals 85 semicolon. Then const tip percent equals 20 semicolon. Now let's create our function. Function calculate tip, round brackets, and inside we put 2 parameters. Bill, comma, tip percent. Close round brackets, open curly bracket. First line inside, let tip equals open round brackets. Bill star sign for multiply, tip percent, close round brackets, / for divide, 100, semicolon. Next line, let total equals bill plus tip, semicolon. Next line, console.log, round brackets, tip amount dollars, plus sign, tip, semicolon. Next line, console.log, round brackets, total bill dollars, plus sign, total, semicolon. Close curly bracket. Now let's call it. Calculate tip, round brackets, bill, comma, tip percent, semicolon. And we get tip amount $17, total bill $102. Beautiful. And because it's a function, we can reuse it with completely different numbers. Calculate tip, round brackets, 50, comma, 15, semicolon. Tip amount 7.50, total bill 57.50. You just used variables, a function, math, and console.log, all in one working program. This same logic powers fare calculations in Uber and service fees in delivery apps. You just built a small version of something behind billion-dollar products. Now let me give you some tips that will save you hours of frustration. Tip 1. Read your error messages. When code breaks, the console tells you exactly what went wrong and on which line. Don't panic. Read it. Tip 2. Practice in small chunks. Spend 15 minutes on functions. Next, day practice loops. Small, consistent practice beats cramming every time. Tip 3. Use the browser console. Press F12, go to the console tab, and type code directly. Let me show you. You can type 2 plus 2 and hit enter. You get 4. Type hello in quotes, plus sign, a space in quotes, plus sign, World in quotes, you get hello world. It's the fastest way to experiment without setting anything up. Now here's a common mistake that trips up almost every beginner. Confusing equal signs. One equal sign means you're assigning a value. You're saying, hey, store this. Let age equals 25 semicolon. Two equal signs is a loose check. It asks, are these two things kind of the same? Watch this. Console.log, round brackets, 5, double equals, 5 in quotes, semicolon. It says true, even though one is a number and the other is text in quotes. That can cause bugs. Now watch three equal signs. Console.log, round brackets, 5, triple equals, 5, in quotes, semicolon. It says false. Three equal signs is a strict check. It says, are these the same value and the same type? The answer is no. One is a number, the other is a string. So always use triple equals to be safe. Once you're comfortable with these basics, learn the DOM to make JavaScript interact with web pages, then move to frameworks like React. That's when you become truly job-ready. That's everything. You just went from zero to writing real JavaScript. Variables, data types, functions, conditionals, loops, and a working project. The only thing left is practice. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one where we build an actual interactive web page from scratch. Now go open Replit and start coding.